So camp season is upon us, so let's talk about what to expect at a college camp so that way you know exactly how to crush it. And if you're completely new here, I'm Sharon Loera. I played college football. I now run a company where I now run Your First Scholarship, where we help families get their first scholarship. And we've helped families get over $16 million in scholarships in just 2 years. So if you want more content helping you get college football scholarships, make sure to subscribe. And if you are already subscribed and you're returning, then let's jump into it. It's gonna be a really good one as we're right into camp season, and I'm hoping this can help you get a little bit more interest, a little bit more offers, some more scholarship money. So let's do it. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna register into the camp. Now this isn't necessarily a big part of the process, but you're just gonna make sure that you're already registered, or you're gonna register there at some kind of booth. And then during this time, once you get registered, they're probably gonna give you some kind of wristband or some kind of marker, probably a t-shirt as well. This t-shirt maybe have numbers on the back or something like that, which is more so just for identifying who you are. These coaches have a registration list as well. These wristbands are usually gonna mark what kind of group you're in. Now there can be various different groups depending on the camp, and that's just kind of up to the staff on how they've broken things up. Now the most common breakdown of this is going to be by year. So like, for example, maybe red wristbands, maybe rising seniors, blue wristbands, maybe rising juniors, and then rising underclassmen, or just underclassmen in general, maybe like green wristbands. There are also is the case that they may break it down by more of an elite group, quote unquote, and more of a, whatever else group, whatever they call it. And so that is something to potentially be aware of, as obviously, like depending on that group, there's going to be certain coaches that know these groups, and they're going to pay more attention to those select certain groups. And so one thing you can do, and it's just a little minor thing, is if you notice that you're not part of a certain group, that you could just go with that group. I mean, you could take off your wristband, do whatever, like they're not really going to pay attention. So it is a little hack that you could do that. I don't necessarily recommend it. It is technically unethical and you could get caught. But shoot, just throw yourself into situations. You never know what happens. And a lot of coaches will respect that, especially if you can hold your own. If you're not necessarily talented enough to hold your own against, top of that camp, then I would probably stay with the group. The next thing you're gonna do is metrics. So immediately once you register, you'll probably get taken for height and weight, potentially also wingspan. You could do hand size as well. It could get pretty in depth, but generally you're gonna at least do height and weight. They're gonna jot those numbers down, put them in a database, or get them to the coaches later. Now from here, you're pretty free to do whatever you need to do. This is why I recommend getting there early, because you want to warm up prior to anything. Because you have to understand, like, once that camp starts, even though they're going to take you through a more quote unquote official warm up, you're getting evaluated at that point. And so you do not want any chance that you're not going to be at your best at that point. So make sure you warm up, start getting ready for the camp, and are ready to go for that official warm up. They're going to take you through the official warm up. It's going to be some kind of dynamic warm up ran by the strength conditioning coach of that school or whatever the camp is hosted by. Now, once you do the official warm up, they're probably going to end it with some kind of testing or potentially a fastest man challenge. Now, if you don't know what the fastest man challenge is, it's when they pretty much make everyone run a 40-yard dash and they just see who the fastest man is. With the testing, there's pretty much 5 main ones that you're probably going to see. These are the general combine testing, events that you see on like NFL combine. So we're talking about 40 time, 5-10-5 shuttle, L cone drill, vertical jump, and broad jump. Now, usually at most camps, you will just see like the 40-yard dash and the vertical jump, maybe the broad jump as well. Very seldom are you getting officially time tested on all 5, just because that takes so much time. There could be other unique testing during this time, as far as I've had some where they do like certain flexibility stuff, or like overhead barbell squat, not with an actual barbell, with a pre-VC pipe, kind of see how people's flexibility is in that motion. So I would really just be prepared for, especially those main 5 ones, but really just be ready forever, because you never know what's going to happen there. From there, you're going to be taken to potentially agility drills or more individual drills. These are done again to just see you move, to see you in your position. After that, you may go into position groups drills. So this is really just for quarterbacks and receivers. You're going to be throwing on air to receivers just to see how guys perform. And then you pretty much wrap it all up with competition. So this is going to be one-on-ones, receivers versus DBs, running backs versus linebackers, and then offensive linemen versus defensive linemen. That is the big important section of the entire camp. As coaches love to see competition, they love to see who performs well. So make sure you make the most of this time. Now, what can you do about it? I just told you kind of how the camps work. So there's 3 little tips I'll give you. So first off, like I talked about, prepare accordingly. Now, I'm not just talking about the combine stuff, but make sure you're ready as far as your mindset goes. You're ready to be coachable. You're ready to give your 100% effort, get sleep, your diet, you're hydrated prior to the camp. You want to make sure you're ready to go. This is a big day. It's going to be a long day. Most of them are in the summer, so it's going to be extremely hot. So make sure you are ready to go. Number 2, get as many reps as possible. You never know how many reps you're going to get, so you need to maximize that time. This is a way to get as many opportunities as you can possibly get. Our big philosophy at Your First Scholarship is that you are trying to get as many opportunities as possible to get in front of college coaches, to get eyes on you. And so this is nothing different. So make sure you're maximizing those reps. And if you're looking to maximize your entire recruiting process inside of Your First Scholarship, we will help you all with that. We have a Done For Exposure machine that sends out emails and DMs for you to get you in front of college coaches directly, as well as we have 24/7 support to make sure that you're maximizing every opportunity and get your questions answered, and full playbooks like our camp workshop that has detailed instructions on how to go about the camp process to maximize your opportunities there. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click the link below. It'll take you to a website where you can learn more about there. Now, the last thing that you want to do about the camps is, again, just make sure you have eyes on you. And this is all about the pre-camp process, which I'm not going to dive into, but you want to make sure you're selecting camps and getting in touch with coaches prior to these camps. That's going to allow you to maximize that camp, because ultimately coaches very rarely use camps as a discovery tool, though they will. For example, at the Fastest Man, if you run the fastest time, they're going to talk to you at that camp. Maybe not offer you, but they'll definitely talk to you. But most of the time, they're using it as an evaluation tool. So you want to be one of the guys that they're evaluating and that they're keeping their eye on. So that's where the pre-camp stuff really comes in heavily. Overall, hopefully this gave you a pretty good idea of the entire camp schedule. Again, this varies heavily dependent on what the camp is, how they run it, but it should give you a pretty good general process of what to expect at each camp. And if you got something from this, if you aren't subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We post 3 times weekly on specifics of how to get a college football scholarship. So I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.